Buying property in Turkey is one of the largest financial decisions you can make, and having the right man in your corner can help you save or lose a lot. My name is Berkan Özür, and I'm the director and founder of Kingsman Estates Turkey. At Kingsman Estates, we help international investors enter the Turkish property market or diversify their existing portfolio. And in this video, I will be breaking down the costs that is associated with buying property in Turkey. Over the years, we've been consistently and diligently observing the bottlenecks of buying property in Turkey. And we came to a conclusion that some of our clients might be somewhat hesitant or anxious, as buying property in another country can be somewhat different when compared to their own country. At Kingsman Estates, we understand and respect that this lack of sense of control can be daunting for an important financial decision. So if you are struggling to make a budget for your Turkish property, watch this video to learn a method that works for most purchases as well as a detailed breakdown of each cost. Please do note that for our clients who work with Kingsman Estates Turkey, there's no fear. As soon as one of our clients walk into our office and they are fully briefed, the mist clears very quickly. As Kingsman Estates Turkey, we have decided to produce one video per week in our efforts to lower the barriers of entry to the Turkish property market, giving holistic and consistent information on the different stages of the process and Turkish lifestyle in general. So without further ado, let's get on with the cost breakdown. When you are buying property in Turkey, you will be subject to pay two different types of costs. The first part will occur on the run-up to the purchase of that property, and the second type are ongoing costs that you will be subject to pay once you become the owner of that property. Please bear in mind that every sale is unique and will have a different cost associated with it. Location, size of the property, and other bits and bobs are determinants of this final property cost evaluation. However, that doesn't mean that we cannot have a ballpark estimate that would work for most sales. So here's the number you've been waiting for. You should allocate approximately 8% of the declared value of the property on top as a property purchase cost. This rule of thumb is a safe bet when you're making a ballpark estimate of the cost of the purchase process. Now let's go on with the first category, which is the costs and taxes that occur on the run-up to completing the purchase process, and this part can be separated in three sections. Section number 1, compulsory appraisal report. Since 2021, it is now a legal requirement for all international investors to acquire a valuation report from a free independent agent who has a license from the Capital Market Board in Turkey, and this valuation report costs around 2,000 liras. Since this requirement and the database for housing prices is new and immature, at the moment there is a lot of debate within the real estate community in Turkey on the accuracy of the valuation report. So just expect around 20 to 30% difference between the house price and the valuation report price. Section number 2, title deed transfer fees. The title deed transfer fee is 4% and it has to be paid to the title deed office as a conveyance tax. Please be aware that it is custom for the buyer to pay the entire tax. However, in some cases, there can be negotiations between the seller and the buyer. As Kingsman Estates, our agents always do negotiate on behalf of you. Also, some construction companies do pay this tax to make their properties more marketable. So when that happens, our agents will let you know when you are in one of our house stores. So please be aware that the value of the property cannot be below the value of the appraisal report. Let's head on to the second part of the section 2, which is the value-added tax in Turkey. For international investors who are purchasing their first property in Turkey and have wired the money from an account outside Turkey are exempt from paying VAT on property purchases. If you're not exempt from the VAT tax, depending whether your property is a commercial or a residential place, you will be required to pay either 1%, 8% or 18% on your property purchase. If you're not sure on which section you might fall into, please do contact us and one of our agents will be more than happy to help you. On top of this, there are other various small taxes and miscellaneous paperwork for translations, power of attorney, capital circulation fee, photographs and etc., which won't be costing more than $400. Kingsman Estates agency fees. We charge 3% plus VAT on property purchases as commission. This number is within the legal limits estate agents are allowed to charge in Turkey. In some cases, we will not charge you as we have deals with the construction companies. If this is the case, our agent will let you know in one of our house tours. So this brings us to the end of costs and taxes that occur on the run-up to the purchase process. And let's get on with the second part, which is the ongoing costs that you will be required to pay once you have become the owner of the property. Some of these costs will be one-time payments and some are ongoing payments. Property tax is one of the ongoing costs that you will be required to pay once a year. So if your property is within a metropolitan area, you'll be required to pay 0.2% once a year. If your property is outside a metropolitan area, you'll be required to pay 0.1%. The number you have to pay will be calculated depending on your property purchase price. This number gets decided by the municipality and the valuation tends to be a lot less than the actual property price. The next section is the compulsory earthquake insurance. Earthquake insurance is compulsory in Turkey. Everyone who purchases property has to pay and buy that. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to register for utility bills and other various bits and pieces. Do remember that Turkey is within the region where earthquakes happen quite regularly. So the price for this varies between 150 to 250 liras and will be calculated depending on the size of your property. Getting registered to utility in Turkey. This process is actually quite simple and it is one of our free after-sale services at Kingsman Estates Turkey. For electricity, water and gas, you would have to take few documents like your compulsory earthquake insurance and your ID, and the total cost for registering for all these services shouldn't exceed 2,000 to 3,000 liras. Another ongoing cost is the monthly maintenance fee. If you have bought a property in a gated community, you'll be required to pay a monthly maintenance fee that would go towards cleanliness of the communal areas, electricity needs in the gated community, security if you have one, and gardening maintenance, pool maintenance and various other bits and pieces like that. The value for this maintenance fee gets decided in the yearly meetings within that gated community. I'm sure all these taxes and costs are incredibly boring and perhaps difficult to grasp even for the seasoned investors within the Turkish property market. However, buying property in Turkey is a big financial decision and it's important to know all these. So in order to alleviate any questions or confusion that our clients might have, let's go through an example together where we will break down each and every cost to understand of it all. Let's say you have bought a property for 1 million Turkish liras. The title deed transfer fee at 4% will be 40,000 Turkish liras. The Kingsman Estates agency fee at 3% will be 30,000 Turkish liras. The notary translation and other various bits and pieces of paperwork will not cost more than 5,000 Turkish liras. The compulsory appraisal report should cost around 2,000 Turkish liras. And finally, the earthquake insurance and utility registration cost shouldn't be more than 2,000 to 3,000 Turkish liras. As we can see, the total property purchase cost equals to 79,000 Turkish liras, which is 7.9% of the initial property purchase price. If you remember from the beginning of our video, our ballpark estimate of 8% stands true. The majority of the cost comes from the title deed transfer and Kingsman Estates agency fee. That fee gets you our experience, expertise and well-established connections in the Turkish property market. So now you've seen our example calculation, you might still think that this process might be somewhat complicated, but please be rest assured that when you are working with Kingsman Estates, once you've seen all the houses and decide to close on a property, we take you to our office and give you a full breakdown of each and every cost that you'll be required to pay. So all these details are just for information and you don't need to know these off by heart. So this brings us to the end of another video, and I sincerely hope you found all the information I have just provided beneficial. If you have any questions, please post a comment down below where I will personally be answering all your questions. Alternatively, you can go on our website at www.kingsmanestates.com. So finally, please like, share and subscribe, and go on our channel to find more videos on Turkish property and Turkish lifestyle in general. Thank you.